4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Good evening, everybody. How are we doing? We are here. I'm here anyway. I don't know where the other two are, which actually I'm glad because, it's like having kids again. They refuse to work with each other, and then Steve is that drunk before he comes live on air. He's doing a George Best and he's singing away. Good evening, Steve.
Hello. Sorry, I had to go to little boy's room for. I've drank a lot of liquid in the last 24 hours, and it's not alcohol; it's just water.
What's it like? Did you shake hands with the unemployed?
No, not quite. Not quite. I sit down to pee most of the time. It's easier, Don't get it everywhere. I like treat myself, Treat myself.
Well, why not? Be comfy while you're doing it.
Exactly.
Give yourself 5 minutes to get on the mobile phone. Anyway, I don't know where Brad's gone.
Yeah, where's this guy buggered off to? Moaning and complaining that we were going to be late, and he's not even here.
Tell you what, though, it'll be so much easier without him, won't it?
Yeah, the two good-looking lads on the show, and then Dickhead will turn up at some point.
He will. Right. I'll tell you what I'm going to do because he's not here. So let's have a bit of fun with him, shall we?
No.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
The homeless man himself. He's come back.
You ugly pair of scrots.
Oh, he's back. Hello. Goodbye. Right, let's carry on. Oh, he's gone again. Clibo's in. Hi, Clibo. I don't know what's happening because suddenly it's not allowing me to show the comments on stage.
Oh, yeah, that feature's gone.
Yeah, I don't know why that is. So I will have to look at a few comments as we go through. But look, we're here. We're there. A bit like Daka. We're every fucking where. 2 goals in a season. I mean, God almighty. As somebody said, I think it was Tom said at the weekend, that's it, guys. You might as well go. He scored his goal for the year.
I don't think he was ever. I think he had 9 touches total in that game. No, sorry, 14 touches he had in total in that game. So I don't think he was everywhere. He was mainly in one area, not moving because he had cement on his feet. But hey, he scored a goal against League 2 teams.
If he'd been moving anymore, he wouldn't have been there to score the goal.
True.
But
look, I'd still think a dirty nappy might have had more movement than Daka in that first half. So,
well, that's what happens when you practice a marathon, Steve.
That's true. I haven't shit myself yet, but it's gonna happen at some point. It's gonna happen.
Wearing my FA Cup winners outfit here just to sort of get into the vibe. Let's have a look. I mean, it was 2-0. It was a win. And let's have a look at it.
For a couple of banters, Aluko is the next just to hit it into that sunshine. When Mavididi now takes it down, he tries to flick it behind him to Page. He'll get a second go here, Steffi Mavididi. And he's found a nice ball for Daka, who goes for goal. And that is a fantastic strike into the far corner. And he gets his second goal of the campaign, a first since November, and a fantastic strike too. No chance for Joe Day, diving down to his left. And with a quarter of the game gone, It's Cheltenham 0, Leicester City 1. Page can win this one. There might just be an attack after, as Mavididi returns it to Louis Page. Skip a few yards behind. Back wide it goes with Mavididi, looking to turn around the outside of Tompkinson. He's done fantastically. He can go on into the penalty area. Still Mavididi going on, and via the deflection, finding a second for the Foxes. And that is a big goal and a big moment. And it's Steffi Mavididi on the score sheet to make it 2.
Well, from the second that he skipped past Tompkinson, which is no surprise to me. He's having a difficult afternoon, the Cheltenham right back there. Mavididi sensing that and feels that he can have a bit of a field day, and that's how it's developing. He's been increasingly impressive as the game has unfolded, none more so than that goal there.
So enjoying this stage and looking to enjoy these closing stages with a chance for Marcel to deliver. There's claims of a handball after the deflection, ignored by the referee. The hosts get it cleared. Skip then picks it up now. He looks to play it forward to Ayew, gets it back. Skip on the volley. That would have been spectacular. Forced the save of Jose down to his left-hand side. And behind it goes for the Leicester City ball. Could have been a third there for Oliver Skip. Would have been some strike.
Nice way to finish that would have been, wouldn't it? Beautifully teed up.
Gentlemen, look, there we go. A 2-0 victory. We've got Southampton away in the next round, which actually I'm not so worried about as I was when we met them earlier in the season, because they're not on the same sort of form. Brad, let's come to you first of all. Just an overall thought, because we had a difference of opinion on the post-match debate about how good the game was, etc. But we avoided the potential banana skin.
We did. I mean, first of all, I'm going to have a dig at our media team here before I get into it. It took them nearly 24 hours to upload that. It was nearly time to re-kick the game off before that got uploaded. And us three blind mice could do better than our media team. But it was our performance on the pitch was better than our media team, at least. But it was a box standard game.
Because of the agreement with TNT and what have you, though?
TNT had it straight up. Maybe, but our media team have been dog water throughout the whole season. We win a game, it takes them 18 hours to put it up. We lose, extended highlights, further highlights, everything goes up. They're absolutely backwards. Maybe they support Coventry, I don't know. But anyway, as for the game, it was decent enough. It wasn't 10-1 and try-hard Man City, but it wasn't, we didn't get Macclesfield Town. So it was what we needed to do, Chris. You didn't want a banana skin. We didn't want another Wickham. We didn't want another Newport County. We wanted to get through it, see it. I always have said, if you're going to get knocked out, it's either by someone in your own division or you hope you're getting knocked out by the team that gets to the final or even wins it. And if we get knocked out by Southampton, then so be it. It's someone in our division at least. You've avoided a banana skin. It was a game that you could have potted around the house doing chores, but still we enjoyed moments of it, really, because after the Mavididi goal, you could have, if that was on Gillette Soccer Saturday, Chris, after that Mavididi goal, the Ollie skip chance was the only thing you'd have gone back to the ground for, because it was just tepid. I used the word tepid right as well. Sorry.
You did. I was impressed that you knew it. We did. It could have been I don't want to sort of mention Crystal Palace at all, but I will give Macclesfield a mention and well done. But we did avoid the banana skin, which, let's be honest with you, going into the game, Steve, it could have been a banana skin.
I don't think it would have been, to be honest. I think we put out a fairly strong side, and we controlled the game. There was a clear difference in quality in the two teams, and you could see that. The fact that Paxton Daka scored a goal just shows how the difference in quality there was. And Steffi had a decent game, but I don't think it was going to be a banana skin. I think we turned up and we implemented a game plan, and that looked more like Enzo's Leicester than Marty's Leicester recently. We passed the ball pretty well. We kept hold of it. We didn't really have anything come against us. There's that shot in the first half that Begovic saved. But other than that, they didn't really threaten. So I thought we controlled it pretty well. But it was a boring game. Really, second half was just, yeah, you could have, as Brad, you could have gone into the washing up if you wanted to. You wouldn't have missed anything.
Yeah, but I know what you're both saying, but I'm on about sort of before the game, when you looked at it, I would have said with the way Leicester are, was I 100% confident they were going to win this? No. Because, look, we've, under Marty, and as the QPR fan told me when we played them, you can have a couple of decent results and then he'll go and do something stupid and we'll lose. He made 8 changes. And yes, look, we'll come on to those later because it was good to see some of those players start a game. But that team, I mean, it was 2-0. And I'm going to say, look, Mavididi sums it up here. We did the job. And that was all, Brad, that we needed to do. If we'd have won 6, 7, 8-0, we'd have still been into the next round. We did what we had to do and avoided doing a Crystal Palace.
No, exactly. That's what I mean. It was a basic game, really. Sorry, was that to Brad? Or was that to, sorry, Brad?
Was that big Brad, not the clue? Sorry.
I didn't say Brad, didn't I?
I was looking into your eyes, Brad. I'm really sorry, and I got really distracted by what Chris was saying.
Sorry, mate. Sorry. You carry on. I'll be gracious. You carry on. No.
I've said my bit. You carry on, my friend.
Okay, thank you very much. Fucking people these days. Anyway, yeah, look, that's all we have to do. Like I said, grow up, Man City. You were playing Exeter. You didn't need to put Haaland on the pitch. They could have done what Leicester did. And like you said, Chris, this third round is the biggest round of cup competition ever. I don't give a shit what people say. You can take Champions League. All right, take finals out of it aside. You're talking knockout rounds building up to it. It's one of the most exciting ones to watch because you get your Macclesfields beating Crystal Palaces. You get, other upsets that have happened throughout the years. We've had a number of them done on us over the years, haven't we? So we know this stage of the competition is usually the one where you're rubbing your hands and you're looking at it. And teams like Leicester and Crystal Palace, and I'm gonna use them as a stepping stone because why not? Macclesfield deserve all the credit. Where you have to carefully balance your starting strong players and the players you want to see more of and give them a bit of game time, like we did with Lewis Page, who I think played the full 90, or at least he played a good 80% of the game. You give a chance for Mavididi to find some form. Daka, 2 goals in 3 months. What's going on? The world's going to end. He keeps scoring at this rate. But you know what I mean? You saw these players getting game time. You've got to find that balance right. And maybe because of the nature of the beast that is the FA Cup third round with potential banana skins, you don't want to go too light and put all your eggs in your under 23s basket. And, I know and I understand that a lot of people were like Jake Evans, and I kind of would see where it's coming from, but you have to find that balance. And at the end of the day, the performance we saw, I did the review show with the Cheltenham fan, and they showed the nature of the beast of being a League Two side. They had 2 very good players that their clubs that they were on loan from. And thanks very much. Thanks for that. We'll have him back now. And we're going to take him to a League One, maybe a Championship side, loan him back out because we're not going to use him, but we want him to play at a higher level. So they were already a bit disjointed as it was. And we probably got lucky in the fact that we didn't have a Macclesfield, because had that team gone out against Macclesfield, we could be Crystal Palace right now. I will say that. That's the thing that we have to look at.
Nah, smash the little slugs. Easy game.
Yeah.
See you later, guys.
Yeah, Macclesfield.
I mean, what I want to talk to, you're quite right there. This is probably the most exciting round of the competition, Brad. Because, apart from possibly the final, if your team's in it, the semi-finals ruin the final for me anyway, because the semi-finals are at Wembley. So suddenly the actual final itself, Steve, is totally not meaning. Well, if we're not in it, meaningless. You watch it because it's that big game at Wembley. But no, there was one a couple of weeks ago when they were at the semi-finals. So that's ruined it. But this is the most exciting. But they've got rid of bloody replays. Now, I've had this argument before, and I have to say I probably think we should have replays because for the smaller teams, if they want to play less games, why are we still playing in a meaningless fizzy pop cup, two-legged semi-finals, and yet we can't have finals in here?
Yeah, I've always been an advocate of having semi-finals at Villa Park and places like that because if there are a lot of northern sides in these semi-finals and finals anyway, and it makes sense for them to be a bit closer to home. But yeah, the magic of the FA Cup it was gone last season when they scrapped the replays. Having a team like Macclesfield beating Palace is outstanding. Those are sort of things that we want to see. Especially on an artificial pitch. From a club that's a Phoenix club at the end of the day. Yeah, I look, if Cheltenham had beaten us, I'd have been like, fair enough, which shit anyways. It is what it is. But yeah, I love the FA Cup third round. It's one of my favourite rounds of football. And I've always dreamed of winning the FA Cup, and we did that. So it's one of the things when you grow up, you always think, oh, I'd love to win the FA Cup, as a football club. I'd love it. You don't dream about the Premier League. You don't dream about the Champions League unless you're a big football club like Man City, Man U, but maybe not Man City, but Man U, Arsenal, not Arsenal, Liverpool, those sort of teams. But the FA Cup sort of things that everyone else can dream of, and if you get lucky, you can push yourself into the later rounds and potentially win it. So, yeah, I prefer replays.
Yeah, would you agree, Brad?
Yeah, I agree. I think you look at the principle of it that. It probably benefits teams a lot more. First of all, you look at some of the results where the games went to extra time, and I know I can only think of one, and it was Everton. It was Everton Sunderland, so that wasn't really the best. But yeah, I think I had like a game that was quite close, and had that gone to extra time, that club, and then that club goes out, that lower league club goes out. You're thinking, that's potentially another 30, 40, 50, whatever it is, grand to them in potential earnings through gate receipts, because you're going to pack the away end at Old Trafford if you get a tie like that. If you're bringing them to them, you're going to fill your ground and your sales. A lot of clubs, and I think the Cheltenham fan brought it up, a lot of clubs in that third round, obviously they all want Premier League clubs, but they also want away ties now these days, because to them they get more commission coming. That Cheltenham would have been financially better off having this be at the King Power, knowing it's not a replay. And also I think the players just, I know it sounds horrible, but I think the players, if you're 2-0 down with 10, 15 minutes to go against Leicester, you're probably thinking, "Oh, we've got a replay. We can get to the King Power. We'll go there. We'll do it. Let's go at them. Let's throw everything at them." I felt like Cheltenham got to about 80 minutes and just went, "Oh, we've got a game in midweek. Or we've got a game next week. That's more important. We're 2-0 down. Let's not drag this out for another 30 minutes while we've already got some injuries. Let's get the fans home. Let's just see this out." And it's dead rubbering. And I mean, they got pittance to a pence compared to us in prize money. I know that's logic. You win, you lose. You don't get as much as a winner, but it was nearly $100,000 difference, which I think is disgusting in the first place. If you're going to scrap replays, make the money more even in them rounds, because I think in round 4 as well, if you go out, you don't get sod all.
Yeah. On that, so there was I can't remember which non-league club it was last year that did pretty well. And they got to the 4th round, I believe, or something like that anyway. And they made enough money from it that will see that club in existence for the next 10 years. Yeah. These are important games. This is why there's grassroots football, and the National League and the non-league sides, and even the League Two sides to an extent. They need this money to survive. And yeah, the scrapping of replays for me is sort of, I get it if it's in the later rounds and you're against Premier League sides. I understand that, but maybe go up to like the 5th round and then scrap replays from the 5th round on, because you're not really going to have a non-league side in the 5th round, are you? Unless something amazing happens. So,
like you say, unless you're in the Premier League or one of the big 6, the FA, Sky, TNT, they don't give a shit about. In fact, fairness to TNT, they did show a lot of games, I got to say.
But they were on terrestrial TV, which is, that is an outrage in itself. The fact that I don't think there was a single game on Sunday that was on terrestrial TV.
No,
so you have to pay money to. That's taken the love out of the game as well. I know they pay the rights for it, and they don't exactly pay for the nose for the FA Cup, but to only have 1 or 2 games on free to air TV, it's disgusting. It really is. It means that this football is becoming, and I said this the other day, I'm sort of falling out of love with modern football, and I have done for a little while, because there's so much greed around football, and that they're locking the working man out effectively of going to games nowadays, or even being able to watch a game of football, and that in itself is disgusting. Because Chris, when you were growing up, I know you're a bit older than us, but not too much older, but you're looking good for it. But
creep.
You were, because I know you said it. I think it was over the weekend or last week that you got into football at sort of 16, right?
Yeah.
So you would have watched football on BBC One or ITV, more often than not, match of the day on a Saturday night, if when you're into it, sort of thing. That is becoming less and less prevalent, and I wouldn't be surprised if at some point match of the day just stops being a thing as well, and then they just won't be able to watch football anymore.
Well, when I was growing up, there was hardly any live games. I mean, it was basically the FA Cup final and England games. And one of the first games I watched, like Mr. Lineker, was Man City Leicester in the FA Cup final. But even as a Leicester fan, I would watch the Arsenal Man United FA Cup final because it was a live game, and you had all the the build up with the it's a knockout and all the different question sport specials. Now, I haven't watched Match of the Day at all this year. I haven't watched the Championship thing because it's a load of shit. At least the Match of the Day has got some sort of, and we offer condolences, obviously, to Gabby Yarworth as well regarding her dad. But now when you watch sort of, I mean, do you guys ever watch the highlights on ITV?
No, I wait for YouTube.
To
put them up.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I barely watch any of. If I'm not watching Leicester away and I can watch it at home, I'll watch that or whatever. But the majority of the time, I don't really watch football all that much anymore.
No. I sit here and I've got the TV here for when we do the watch along or what have you. But that is the only time, if I'm sat here doing stuff for the next show, the graphics or whatever, I might put the game on. But otherwise, I've never watched a Premiership game this season or the last season we're down here. And like I say, but at least credit to the BBC. At least they do give the show some sort of fucking structure, but which is more than ITV do. Maybe ITV, you need to do separate shows for League One, League Two, and the Championship. You think, put it on, and you're thinking like, what's that? Leicester might come up, and then you're in the middle of League Two or something. But anyway, that's a show for another day. 8 changes, Steve. Look, we were glad to see some of these changes, weren't we?
Yeah, no, obviously, Aluko's starting. He said Steve, right? Not Brad. He said Steve this time. I'm pretty sure he said Steve. I'm just making sure.
Yeah, so anyway, as you said, Chris, about this.
Aluko getting a start in his favourite position, which is right back. Did pretty well from what I saw. Nelson and Vestergaard, fair enough. Luke Thomas, less said about him, the better anyway. Hanser in midfield with Skipper, was quite a defensive midfield. And then, Louis Page and Silko Thomas in those sort of attacking areas as well. I think overall we had some decent young players coming on and putting in a decent performance. I don't think anybody really got any less than sort of 5.5 out of 10, which is above average slightly.
What's that?
So everyone's, that's your half. Yeah. No, I feel like, because everyone says, 6 is average. 5 is average. If you blow a 5, you're shit. If you're above 5, you're okay. I think a 5.5 for everybody is fine with some. I would have liked to have seen Evans come on though, that's for sure.
Well, we'll get onto that because that's my pet subject at the moment. I'm just going to go through the chats because I'm sorry, guys. I have emailed StreamYard. I don't know why it doesn't allow me to do that function. I've gone onto the help page and it says, yes, you can do it, but there isn't anything there for me to actually click on to bring them up. So how can it be done? It's going to have to do it the old way, the old-fashioned way. Clibo says, good evening. Stream Hub World says something. I have no idea what it is. Prashant, hello, couldn't watch the game because I was at a charity event. Blue says, evening, Chris, Brad and Steve and everyone in the chat. Sylvia says, we hot Southampton. Do you see us having a chance to pass? Yes, I actually do. And do check out, we're doing a show at 9 o'clock this evening with Tom when we will be reviewing the main games from the weekend and also looking at that
Oh, it's nice to know you did you're doing shows with Tom, Dick, and Harry tonight, Chris. That's quite nice. Tom,
Well,
there's
tell you
Dick,
what,
and I'm Harry.
as I'm looking there's a couple of dicks I'm doing a show with.
I'm Harry like Potter, and he's Dick.
I'll leave you two to all. Honestly, it's like having bloody kids again. The marketing for the marking for set pieces in our box is still very poor. We allowed one of their players a free header again. We need height in our side. Stop this. Oh, God, don't start me on zonal marking, Clibbo. In fact, I tell you what, Clibbo's back with us on Friday, by the way. Clibbo and Reese are back with us, and we'll discuss zonal marking then. Hillsborough back in the day was great for semis. It was. And look at the new stadium now. I'm sure we can get a northern and a southern one, or depending if we've got 4 southern teams, maybe have 2 southern semi-finals. Yeah, it's an idea, isn't it? If the money was filtered throughout the leagues fairly, replays wouldn't be needed. I think that's what you were basically saying, guys. Scott's in. Clibbo, match of the day is shit anyway these days. It would be, it used to be staple viewing because there wasn't that much telly to watch, was it? It was that or nothing. It's like back in the day, Top of the Pops was staple viewing if you wanted to listen, watch music. And even MTV has, let's be honest with you, shut down in Europe now. Thank you very much.
Clouds, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. Didn't hear what you said, but I'll agree. Also, make sure you subscribe. It helps the channel. Yes, it does. In comparison, it is more like Harry Potter and Tom Riddle.
Hey, he does not look anything like Tom Riddle. Thank you very much.
We'll try and include some of the comments later on. Like I say, before the game, I was pleased. But had we lost this game, but we'd put up a fighting, chance, I couldn't have moaned about this because this was the ideal game, Brad. This was the ideal game to play these youngsters, wasn't it, Brad?
Sorry, was that for me? I just wanted to make sure before Steve started talking. It was, and again, it's like that thing you saw it. Apart from tryhard Man City, and I will keep bringing that up because they were tryhards. Most teams throughout in our situation were doing exactly the same. And that's probably what adds to the lucrative balance of a potential cup upset because unless you're tryharding like an absolute sweat merchant like Man City did, you're leaving yourself open to a dodgy performance from one of these fringe players and it leads to a goal and all of a sudden, we're 1-0 down. And, what was good about this, Chris, is I looked at the team and I kind of forgot that there was 8 changes from the game because we've seen these players, all right, Aluko not so much, but he's only just started to embed into the team. But we've seen the majority of these players get good minutes throughout the season. So it wasn't like, all of a sudden we had a Rashid Gazelle on the pitch like we did against Newport all them years ago. And we had Tom, Dick, Steve and Harry that are on the show later tonight, according to Chris. We didn't have that. What we had was... I want to make comments to things. Tom, Steve, Dick, Harry for Steve and all. We'd seen Begovic play 5 or 6 games for us this season. Might have been for an injury, but he was still played. We've seen Vestergaard and Nelson play. We've had to cope with Thomas playing. Aluko's just coming into squad. So it wasn't like it was 8 players that hadn't really kicked a ball together. And I think that's where you could say, and we dish it out and we have to give credit when it's due to him. But we dish out slander towards him when he gets it wrong. If you're going to get a balance of a perfect side to send out for the FA Cup on paper in terms of having the experience and some football behind them, Marty got the team dead right, in my opinion. Barring maybe you could have put the third choice keeper on because we forgot he exists and Evans. But I can understand why he went Begovic. And I still don't understand why Jake Evans. But my point is, Chris, I would say on paper for an FA Cup third round potential banana skin, that's a solid 8 out of 10 lineup to see a good balance of your squad and what it's capable of.
Okay, I want to go through the players then. Aluko, Steve, had a
Steve, it's for you.
Hello,
Making him sure he knew.
it's me. I'm
Don't worry.
back.
This won't go on for the whole show. I promise.
better not.
It will.
It will.
Anyway, for Mick McCarthy there, Aluko, like you say to me, look, I'm not overly keen on Piera. I think he's had it. He shouldn't be captain, but look, that's another show. And Hamza isn't at his best in that position. And when I looked at this, I thought we've actually got a few square pegs in square holes here. Aluko at right back didn't look bad at all.
No, well, that's his natural position for Aluko.
Exactly.
So
It's funny that, isn't it? You play someone in the natural position, and they do well.
Yeah, I thought that if you take away the goal and assist for Steffi, Aluko is probably up there as one of the better players. He's sort of faded in the second half a little bit, but if in that first half, the amount of times he was on their 18-yard box, pushing up, it was almost like he was playing number 8 rather than as a fullback. He was doing the Ricardo role, but further forward. And yeah, I'm all for giving him a chance. We threw him against Southampton, and look what happened. But you need to give him minutes anyway to help him progress. And I genuinely think that he's a decent talent. That when he gets minutes in this team, he will show his quality. And Ricardo, I've said it for many weeks now. I think Ricardo's done. His legs are gone. Effectively, he'll have a couple of good games, but he's not where he was. That many injuries in that short period of time it's bound to happen. And then you've got Luke Thomas on the other side. Luca can play left back if you wanted to. You can still have Ricardo if you really want to at that point. But yeah, Luca, and he linked it well with Silko Thomas, actually. I thought they both played quite well together. So yeah, give him a chance. Please, Marty, give him a chance. Please.
I mean, look, we were up against Cheltenham, so it wasn't like we were, I doubt this team would have done as well against Coventry at the weekend. But yeah, do you think there is a need? Because I actually was saying there's a need to buy. We want a new left back in the window. We also want a new. Well, I was saying right back. But do you think Aluko could be the answer there for this season? Steve.
Yes. Yeah, sorry. So Brad came back online, and usually when he comes back on, I'm expecting him to answer it, you see.
He went off, you see, so I was like, I didn't know, how long his piss was going to take.
I would say that, yeah, he probably is the answer there because he's got the pace. There was a moment in the second half where he came up against one of their wingers, and the winger just bounced off him, and he came away with the ball, and you're like, bloody hell, I've not seen that for a while. I think genuinely, if Ricardo's out of contract at the end of the season anyway, so you've got to prioritize players that want to be here and are going to be here in the longer term. And I think Aluko, at his age, should start spending more and more time on the pitch. Okay, you might get 20 minutes, half an hour here, and then towards the end of the season, if we're not going for promotion, which we probably won't be, and if we're not battling for relegation, which we probably won't be, but can't say for 100% that we won't be. Yeah, give him the minutes because he's the future. If we can bring him through and give him those minutes now, we don't have to then go and buy a right back in the summer, as a first position. So done, ticked.
I'll come to you, Brad.
Brad,
hang on. Let me. I know. There's an easy way.
You're gonna hold up the sign. Nice.
Yeah. Yes, I think.
We all love physical comedy. Comedy. Fucking hell.
If we get a pen that works, pretty typical. The first pen I go for, right. So,
hang on, I can't read. What was that?
Well, we know that. Vestergaard. I mean, he's gone off injured again. He didn't look to be doing a too bad a partnership with Nelson, though.
No, he didn't. But I'm instantly going to shut down any talk of him getting back into the team and say a Coley goes straight back into that team against Coventry. I've said this for a while, that maybe his role for this season is to say, okay, I will take some of the workload, probably play. He'd probably get a few starts here and there, no doubt. But I'm going to be the guy you put on when it's nervy time, when there's 15 minutes to go and you want to put a third centre back on, or a Coley or Nelson look a bit leggy, so you want to take one of them off and shore up a 2-1 and, you know, see it out, hopefully. You know, that should be maybe Vestergaard's role, more like the dwindling down that we did with Wes Morgan over the years. Because, again, you talk about Ricardo, Vestergaard's been a bit niggly with his injuries. All of a sudden, you know, he played every minute and now he can't shake an injury, and it's probably something to do with being in the mid-30s. I mean, trust me, I get out of bed some days and my back goes. And I'm only 35 and my back twinges.
Depends what you're doing in the bed, I guess, doesn't it, Brad?
I can't answer them questions live on air.
That's all right. Because earlier on today, I climbed up into the racking at work, which is about 20 feet in the air, and I twinged my back and I couldn't move for 5 minutes. So, you know, I'm 35 too. We're both feeling it now.
Great,
just don't train for a marathon. That's at all. Just don't do it. It's the worst decision of my life.
I won't. But anyway, I mean, bloody hell.
Oh, have you finished with this sort of, you know, Holby City break that we've got here?
Bloody hell. Chris was having a sort of limb disorder. He was doing this.
At 64, I'm as fit as a fiddle compared to you two. Bloody hell.
Yeah. Well, maybe. Yeah, that's why maybe.
We're talking about Vestergaard then, Brad. We're talking about him being, because we have got another year of him at the end of this season. Are we talking about him being there, like you say, there as an emergency?
Not so much an emergency, but more it's the dwindling part of it. So he'll probably still play. He'll probably go on a run of games, and then he'll get a Coley in, and then in the summer, when hopefully we strengthen that area with more signings in that area, that's when he'll become that emergency break glass. A bit like what we should be doing with Ricardo now. I agree with you guys. And not just because of his contract, his injury record says, look, play a Luco, put him on with 10 minutes to go. I think we're getting to that point of his time at Leicester with Vestergaard where...
I think that was a yes then. I'll move it on because I think that was a yes in there.
It was a half yes, half no. It was hard to describe.
Are we still there, anybody? I think we lost 7 people while that was going on. Love you, Brad. But yeah, I think, or do we try and sell him, Steve? I mean, if we sell him, and look, we were talking earlier about Faze, hopefully will be going. Do we not need him here as that sort of bit of experience?
I mean, I don't think you'll sell him anyway because he's a bit like Patterson. He doesn't want to leave the club until his contract runs out because he's on so much money. So, you know, why would he take a pay cut to go and play football here when he can occasionally play games for our first team? So, I mean, he's an experienced head. We don't know how much of a leader he is because, let's be honest, he's fallen out with 3 separate managers at the football club, which isn't ideal. But if he's happy to be a bit part player for the next 18 months and he helps bring Nelson through and a Coley if he's still here, which I think he might leave in the summer anyway, then yeah, by all means. But it's all about his attitude, isn't it? We've known in the past about how bad his attitude can be when he's not playing football because he thinks he should be. And
it is, but there's worse ones. But at least when he comes in, he makes the effort.
Yeah. But also you have to remember that Denmark are going for qualification for the World Cup. He'll want to get in that World Cup squad, so he's going to want to play as many minutes as possible. I think I disagree with in the Braden sense of I think Vestergaard, when he's fully fit, comes back into the team with Nelson, which to our detriment for sure. But I just think that's Marty likes him. He likes that he can pass for the ball and
yeah, you know, and I think most managers have ended up liking that. Let me stick with you, Steve, because you can fit 2 answers into Brad's one. Hey, Brad. Luke Thomas, you're not happy with him in that position, but what other options did we have?
Well, none at the moment. I mean, there are players in the youth academy that can make the step up that are in the under-21s that could potentially do a job. I don't think they're necessarily as good as or better than Thomas. But look, Luke Thomas has been poor all season. He's not really had a spell on the sidelines. Sometimes you need to do that for a player, don't you? You need to drop him for a few games, get them back into wanting to play football and prove people right or wrong in this sense. and then get back into the team from there. But we don't have that luxury because Christensen, who I don't think is better anyway, is injured, and Marty doesn't want to bring up some of the young lads from the youth squad. So you're going to be stuck with Luke Thomas. And look, he didn't have a bad game at the weekend, but it just shows that if he's against League Two level, great, he can do a job. If he's against Championship and a winger in the Championship, he gets turned inside out all game long, and it's just a constant problematic area that we need to improve. I just don't think we will in January.
Another problem, Brad, if you adapt one of the songs from The Sound of Music, what are we going to do with a problem like Hamza Chowdhury? This was his, I think, well, it is his main position. Obviously giving James a bit of a rest, and quite rightly. You don't want him injured in this game. I thought he did all right in that role.
He did all right, but if there was ever a game where you want to take it by the scruff of the neck and really make it your own, so we're all sat here going, yeah, I know it might have only been Cheltenham, but wow, Hamza really wants to lay the marker down. He's not going to, sit back and take that. He's got 3 positions he can play in, 3 players he can fill in for. And he's just not. He made a classic Hamza challenge, I think, in the game where he went in full blood, he got the ball, not the man, thankfully, and we all had a bit of a cheer of that. But he's one of the players that I think, unfortunately, we begrudgingly put on the list for the summer, clear out, because again, he's just. It's like a broken engine. Sometimes he might tick and work, and you're thinking, "Hey, I'll fix the problem," and then 3 weeks later, it's back to conking out, and it's just not good enough for you. So we need to give it to maybe Sheffield United will give us something for him in January or the summer, because he didn't have a bad game, Chris. You're right, but this was his moment to really use this opportunity as his home, because he's not a young sprog anymore. He's not an Aluko who's going to get more and more opportunities. He's running out of opportunities to cement himself as a first-team player.
Would you, if somebody came in and said, we'll give you $3 million for him, would you take it?
Yes. Gone. See you later.
Yeah,
bye.
Because he's 28 now. Brad, you're right. He's not a young lad anymore. And by all accounts, from what we hear, I heard in the grapevine, is that he wanted to go in the summer. And he wanted to go to Sheffield United.
Oh, Sheffield United want him. Yeah. When I had a chat with the Sheffield United, they love him, and they love him as a right back.
Yeah.
They also love.
But again, a difference of environment sometimes brings out the best in you. Him being here has probably stunted his growth a little bit, because he probably could have gone for a different team and been a pivotal figure.
Well, that was going to be my next question to you. Would you sell him if Sheffield United came in? So
there you go. Yes.
Coming back, Brad, then, because Steve answered his question before he even asked it. Look at the 3 behind Pats and Daka, and I would have maybe liked to have seen Munger on there and put him in that central position, but Page. Silko Thomas didn't do anything wrong. I thought Page had a very good game. Mavididi, for me, was one of the ones that controlled the game.
Yeah, look, I mean, preferably for me, I'm happy Page started. I think he's been consistent when he's come on. He's driven the attack. I mean, the West Brom game, Chris, when him and Monga came on, I said, actually, we've got some energy. We're actually about to rob West Brom. Which we did, because we actually had some energy going forward. And I think when we've, had injuries in the past early in the season, and we've not had a James or Cripple McGee to come on, and if you don't know who Cripple McGee is, we both say we wanted to go back to Burnley to give you a huge one about there in Cripple McGee. We've lacked the authority. We've whacked Ayu in that position, and it's not worked. Whereas with Page, it really works. So I'm glad he played. I feel that Fatua needs to sit this one out. I know he scored that great winner, but I think he needs to sit this one out because we need to give Silko Thomas some game time as well. I was fairly impressed with his work. He got up and down the channels quite well. He got himself in dangerous positions. And bit of Achilles heel. I know he's got Monga to deal with, but Mavididi probably did need to play this one because you've got to keep. He's a confidence player, and this will just help excel that. Going into the M69 derby. Which, as you know, Chris, if you're named after...
Oh, yeah. Oh, this is why your answers are so long.
No,
you take the right turn and then you go up somewhere else.
I heard the slat nav something back round. I was only going to end it by saying, and as you know, Chris, I always say, if the derby's named after a motorway, it's a massive one.
Indeed. Steve, number 10. Look, Ramsey looks like we're going to be keeping him, and I don't understand that at all. Because we're not going to get him back possibly until the end, well, either beginning or end of February, depending which story you read. But we've got Louis Page, we've got Dakova Reed, who can both do that position. Do we need to keep Ramsey, or do we let him go back and save the wages, whatever it is we're paying him, and go for the rest of the season with those two and use that money somewhere else in the team?
I don't know if we can send him back, to be honest, because I would send him back because he's going to be injured again. He comes back and he'll be injured after a couple of games again, and it's just a waste of money. Yeah. I just think that we're in the sort of Edouard situation, aren't we, where we have to pay to send him back, and the club just can't afford to do it. So I think he's going to be here till the end of the season. But I would personally, I would start with Bobby and bring Page on, because Page he's not looked out of place in the last 2 or 3 games when he's come on. No. He's looked pretty good. He controlled the game in the middle of the park. And at his age now, where he's sort of 17, he should be getting minutes, because I think that he's a guy, I think he takes over Monga for me in regards to sort of the wonder kid scenario in this team, because he's somebody that I can see quite easily fitting in 2 or 3 years' time into a Premier League side. And playing sort of 30, 35 games a season. He looks fit. He looks like he's up for it. He's got good passing. And yeah, I think that we should be prioritising playing him with Bobby. 60 minutes, 65 minutes, bring him on, give him a chance and see what he can do.
Don't fall out with me.
Oh, sorry. No, go on. No. I was going to say, is he our next KDH potential?
Yeah, I say, like, I was talking to a friend about Monga and Page, and who I thought had a higher ceiling. And like, Monga hasn't got the end product yet. He's 15, coming 16 or whatever. Louis Page, given a year's time in actual football, I think he will be that KDH material where he's breaking into the box late. And once he gets his first goal, which he almost did against West Brom before he screwed it up and put it straight at the goalkeeper, which was a real shame, but it is what it is. I think we'll see him flourish. And I do think that he's slightly ahead of Monga in regards to development. And he's somebody that, again, going into the summer with Aluko, if you're giving these players minutes now and you can see they're going to be, starters next year, do it. Because that's another position we don't have to buy.
Okay, well, and I know you might fall out with me here because you love the guy that much, you got his name on the back of your shirt. But why are we signing players that are coming back from injury, so potentially are likely to get injured again? We know this happens because it happens with Ricky, it happened with Fafana, it happens with a lot of players. And yet we sign them on an agreement where, well, we're going to keep him all season. Why are we doing that with players that are potentially likely to be, to struggle with injuries?
Who got his name on the back of a shirt?
Rudkin. He's on about.
Oh, well, okay, fair enough.
Thank you, Brad.
Well, the issue with Leicester is that they always leave it to the last 3 or 4 days of the transfer window, and then they're trying to find out who's available. And I think a list of players that we got offered, he was probably the best one. And coming back from injury, you could probably get a cheaper deal for him. Look, in regards to transfer negotiation, in regards to sending them back and stuff, Leicester, if you're desperate for players to bring people in, because let's not forget, the last week of the transfer window, how desperate were we? How angry were we, being like, why the fuck have we left it so long? What the fuck? And then we signed, we're like, wow, this is a good player. But Rudkin can't be blamed for somebody getting red carded in the first game after 20 minutes. Rudkin can't really be blamed for the injuries that he's picked up. Look, don't get me wrong. I hate Rudkin as much as the next guy. I hate
No, you don't. You're having a bit of a bromance here,
I do not think so. But
we've seen the white stains on that shirt, don't you?
I'm just saying.
I just think that it's going to cost us money to send him back, and I just don't think that, because if the club had the money, they'd do it. I'm pretty sure they would. But I think we're towing that line, aren't we? That's the problem.
Yes. No, it is. But I'm just thinking, like, Burnley must have also been desperate to loan him out, and why we agreed to. I'm not saying we have. We don't know whether we've agreed to stick with these players. Brad, you got your finger up.
Yeah, because the thoughts, a light bulb just went off above my head. Not these actual ones, a metaphorical one in this one. You say we don't have the money to send him back. Is that then maybe the reason why we actually haven't gone through with Antonio? Because I know he's got an injury, but it's only a niggle injury. It's only going to be a couple of weeks. He's expected to be fully fit and ready again by February anyway, which is the timescale we've got for Ramsey. Is it actually the fact that Antonio got injured and that's why we didn't chance it? Because it's a free agent, we could sign him whenever. It doesn't matter. I'd have still signed him now and let him recover with us and sign him on a 6-month deal or something.
So what I've been told is that I said this before, but I've been told that the club needs to sell players before they can bring players in. And there's
how bad is it? Is it really
wage-wise? It depends on what he wants wages-wise. There's other things involved as well. And also, if you've got a player that's just come back from 2 career-threatening injuries in both his knees, not just one knee, in both knees, he's been at the club for about 6 weeks by all accounts. And if he's picked up a niggling injury at that point, how many times do you think you're going to get games out of him in that period if you're offering a contract?
The days he plays, then that's the thing that happens. And
also, he might be asking. He might be saying, "Look, this is me. I've played this, and I've been Premier League. I want X amount of money." But I get what you're both saying. I think it would be brilliant to get him on a pay as you play, but I don't think he would. I mean, the player's going to want a bit of security. Steve, let me stick with you for the strike, and we're going to come on to Jake Evans later. But this, and I know he scored a goal, but this was a missed opportunity, putting Daka up front. And also, we'll jump ahead and tie the two together. Why the fuck bring Ayew on?
Yeah, Marty likes his like-for-like substitutions, doesn't he? So, 70 minutes, you bring off your striker and you bring another striker on. I'm at the end of my tether. So Kate made a very good point yesterday, and that is maybe Evans isn't ahead in the sort of development area than where he should be. So he's on the bench, but he's not good enough to make an appearance as of yet. That might be the case,
Good enough for England, though.
Well, exactly, and he's banging the goals in the under-21s as well. So, and we know what we're going to get from Patson Daka and Jordan Ayew. They're out of contract in the summer. We know exactly. We've had them for a number of years now. We know what they're going to bring to a side. If you're 2-0 up and you're cruising, like we had 72% possession at the point where we took Daka off and brought Ayew on. Why? And I genuinely don't understand why we don't bring on Jake Evans and give him 20 minutes. What could have happened? Like, I don't understand why some people are saying, well, what if they just scored a goal back and then we were defending the game? Having a pacey player up front would be better than having a Jordan Ayew up front?
A player up front that knows where the net is against a player up front that nearly broke his neck celebrating the fact that...
Yeah, and also, we've banged the drum about these young players that get given a chance. If you look at the amount of young players in that squad yesterday, Aluko, Nelson, Louis Page, these players, the energy around that first half changed instantly from the previous game. I saw tenacity, I saw players pushing, I saw like a willingness to try and do different bits and pieces. You bring Ayew on in the 70th minute, you're going to get a player that falls over all the time to draw a free kick, and he gets one opportunity to have a shot, and he scuffs it. Like, I don't see the point of bringing him on. Save him for Saturday if you need to, but he's not worth it. Bring the youth players through. We all want to see the youth players. Bring them through. Yeah. He got 4 games in the Premier League, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, and then as well for who was that under?
Ruud van Nistelrooy.
It was Ruud van. Yeah, I thought.
I think the most he got 10 minutes in one game, like one in another, and I think he had half an hour total football.
We'll come on to him in a little bit, like I say, but I'm on the same page with you with that. Brad, one of the other substitutions, the Coley we've already talked about, and I think him and Nelson should be the two going forward if he stays in the summer. Marcel was only on as a token, I think. I want to talk Monga briefly because he came on, and did he do anything different to Thomas? No. And I'm sorry, you're not taking Thomas off to rest, because if you're taking off youth players to give them a rest, then you're doing something fucking wrong at Seagrave. I have to say, have we seen the best of Monga, and should we have sold him maybe in the summer to Man City? Because I don't necessarily think he's worth as much now as he was before.
No, I think he's best here. I do think he's best here because the thing is, Chris, if it had gone to Man City, we'd have got pittance for him. Literal pittance would have been robbed blind. And whilst maybe I agree with Steve, I know, shocker, I actually agree with Steve. Whilst it feels like in that race from the youth academy down low, you could argue Page, and maybe now slowly, if he keeps impressing at right back or left back where he plays him, Aluko would start to get up on, and then maybe even ahead of that level of Monga. We know what we've got with Monga. We know we've got a very good, talented player. Right now, Chris, he's on that pendulum, and it's just up to him to get his head down and work hard on which way that pendulum swings.
Okay, well, let me... pendulum swings like England do. I don't remember what that song was, but it is a song. But my worry, is he on the verge of becoming another Fatawu? Because he likes to do his step-overs, and yet I've not seen any end product from him in the last few games. I mean, he was dropped for 5 games or whatever it was. We don't 100% know why, allegedly an injury. But I'm seeing he's trying to do these, going past 2 or 3 players and doing those sort of tricks. But then I'm not seeing a lot of end product from him.
Yeah, but again, that's where I go back to the pendulum, Chris. And you look at how Louis Page, his first couple of games, or well, sub appearances and whatnot, it passed him by. He didn't do badly, but he didn't.
But Monga's had more games than that. Monga's almost regular.
But what I'm saying is they kind of reversed how it was, because now Lewis Page is having progressively better games, and we're really taking a keen eye and an interest to him. We've already lumbered him with the name next KDH, so he's doing that. Whereas Monga's kind of fallen back into the shadow. And that's one thing you can't teach. It's one thing that if you're going to become a very good or even world-class player, and I'm not saying he's going to become a world-class player, but I'm saying if you're going to become a very good quality player, when that challenge arises, you learn. And maybe Monga hasn't had that lesson yet in his brain, where Lewis Page has gone, when I did that against Steve Jobs in the under-23s against Crystal Palace, I could make passes like that and take time on the ball. But these professionals that get paid 30, 40 grand a week aren't going to allow me to that. I need to adapt to their game, whereas Monga's still stuck in that transitional period. It's all on Monga right now. And I know that sounds like a lot of pressure, but it's all on Monga and how his future here goes.
Which side of the fence do you sit on?
I'm in agreement. I need to see some more end product with Monga. Like when he's come on off the bench, he's looked like a player that can, put in some tricky performances. But like against Sheffield United, within a minute of him coming on, he had 3 touches in the opposition box and he got a corner out of it, which is fine. But when you're going up against Abdul and Mavididi, who are seasoned professionals, you need a bit more than that. And he had 11 touches total when he came on Saturday. 20 minutes of football and he had 11 touches. Even for any winger, that's not good enough. That's like Patson Daka, Jamie Vardy levels of touches in a game. He needs to be a bit more consistent. He needs a bit more end product. And it's all well and good having those step overs, like we see with Stefan Mavididi, who frustrates the shit out of me when he does it. You need to then do something with it. You can't just expect to do a couple of them and then pass it back.
Totally. I mean, like you say, 11 touches, but that was probably 3, almost 4, incidents, and that's all it was, because you take so many in the one. Look, it confuses me that they call this the momentum chart, but it's the time that each team has with the ball and what they do with it. But we were never really troubled, were we? I mean, it was a good performance, but like you say, the thoughts about any banana skin disappeared after about 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, they did. This was probably for the neutral a bit disappointing, and it wasn't your classic third round FA Cup tie, because if you were flicking through trying to watch one that was gonna really grip everybody and have loads of people tuning in, this was the game that you wouldn't spend more than a minute watching. It was your classic training ground routine. It was your pre-season friendly, Chris. Minus the different 11 coming out in the second half, which you can do in a pre-season. This felt like a game where Cheltenham weren't really interested in really going for it, and Leicester were just happy that a team was allowing them to play tippy-tappy, sideways passy football. And that's why I get where Steve came from earlier when he said it looks a bit more like Enzo ball than it did that, because what pressure? There wasn't any from Cheltenham.
Very, very little. Steve, again, when you look at the stats, I mean, I wish Leicester could do this week in, week out against, the big boys. But, we had 16 shots to their 9, but we only had 5 on target. They had 3, so you could say they were more clinical. Twice as many touches in the opposition box than they did, with 20. 3 saves each they made. Aerial duels won. We won 14. We got the most of those. We also committed more fouls. And look, I suppose it shows how attacking we were. We had 10 corners, I think, at one point. We had 3, one straight after each other.
Yeah, but I think we can take these stats with a pinch of salt, really, can't we? Because, they are a League Two side. I'm just going to cough. Give me a second. Sorry. Right. Yeah, they are a League Two side, so you'd imagine that we'd have more of the ball and more shots and this sort of thing. So, yeah, what is slightly more worrying is the fact that a lot of our shots came from outside the box. There's about 7 or 8 of them that came from outside the box rather than inside the box. I'd like to see us get more opportunities in the actual box itself, because that's where we struggle on a weekly basis. So if you're going to transition this game into the next game, which is, the M69 derby, which is it's an important derby when it's named after a motorway. Yeah. But, you need to transition that into the game.
But I forgot what I was going to ask you there. I mean, question lined up, then you made me smile. Do you think, because we're having so many shots from outside the box, our strikers aren't getting the goals? Because Daka maybe, and I don't know, I'm just presuming here, might be making the runs, but nobody's passing to him because they're having a shot from the halfway line.
Well, so looking back at the West Brom game, which I think is probably more of a telling situation, we had 4 shots in the box and 3 on the outside of the box. So my guess is the reason we had more shots against Cheltenham is because they were packing the box a bit more, and it's easy to get a shot off from 25 yards than it is to get one inside the box because there's too many.
Yeah, and it could hit somebody and go in.
Yeah, but I don't think Daka was necessarily doing any of the running. He was just doing, what Patson Daka does, and that's just headless chicken mode, I guess.
Well, yeah. No, I wasn't, I'm not saying, that he's suddenly brilliant. I was just wondering if that's why he sort of
sounded like you were, Chris. It sounded like you were saying he's a new, born Christ and everything. He was incredible.
Oh, well, I prayed for him last week. So
Zambian Pele is what you said, I'm pretty sure.
Well, who knows? Hat trick at the weekend. You just watch. Right, this is going to be for both of you, but I'll stick with you first, Steve, because we've talked about this guy. I do not know what this guy does. He have to go and put a brown paper envelope on Marty's desk full of money to actually get in the team. Now, this is a striker, and yes, I know it's under 21 level, blah, 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 which really, if he can do it at under 21 level, he should be able to do it against a team like Cheltenham. He's got 3 goals in the Premier League too. 3 goals in the Premier League Cup, 2 goals in the National League Cup. Even my maths know that that is 8 goals this season. How many has Daka got? 2. But he hadn't. He'd only got 1 up until yesterday. AU's not exactly scored that many either, has he? I mean, look, he's quite flexible in the fact that, his centre forward is one of his main positions, and he can play on the wing as well. But look again, 5 goals from being a centre forward, 1 from a right wing. 1 from being a right winger, 1 from being a right midfield. He's even getting assists there as well. What does this guy? I mean, if we're playing Coventry, I accept. Maybe it's not the place for him to sort of come on. Although knowing Marty, he'll probably do it against Coventry. He have a bad game. You go, oh, there you go. That's why I don't pick him. This was an ideal game to, if not start, bring him on. But no, we've got to sort of get the Zimmer frame out and bring Jordan Ayew on. You're on mute, mate.
Bloody hell, me coughing, innit? Yeah, I said earlier about like for like substitutions and bringing Ayew on over Daka and stuff. But in that position, I don't see how we would have lost the game anyway. No. And he's a young lad that will want to put himself about and catch the eye of the manager. So it's a win-win, really. The worst he could do is not score a goal, and that's what Ayew did. He didn't bring anything else to the team. So yeah, I don't get it. And Marty bangs the drum on about he wants to give these young lads a chance, but it's a big squad. And then he said a couple of weeks ago, well, actually, the squad isn't as big as I'd like it to be.
I know, I can work that out.
Well. Yeah, you either play the youth lads because you've got a small squad, or don't because you've got a big squad. You can't have it either way.
Yeah. Apparently he wants a number 9 and a number 10 because the squad's not big enough. But like you say, he was saying at the start of the season, I don't want a large squad. Yeah. Maybe, again, he's got, the old prawn brain from his, all his paellas he's been eating. But Brad, we're not talking stupid here, are we? If he doesn't play him against Coventry, although, as I said, he probably will do, and he'll struggle, and he'll say that's why I'm not picking him. Was this not the ideal game to either A, start, or B, at least bring on?
Yeah, definitely. 100% it was. And it does worry me a little bit that he didn't get on the pitch. Because for all the talk of play the youth, well, he's playing Ben Nelson. He's playing Aluko. He's playing Silko Thomas. He's playing Louis Page. I know he's gone out on loan, but he did give Will Alves a go against Huddersfield. It didn't work out. And Sammy Braybrook's still, probably still coming back from an injury. So they're ones that we can kind of maybe put in there, not quite happened for them part.
Yeah.
But this was the opportunity, and it worries me because Marty's giving opportunities to youngsters. We give it all that saying he's not giving opportunities to youngsters. Well, actually, he is. You look at the latest team and the appearances they're making regularly now off the bench or starting there on the odd occasion. More regularly, Ben Nelson being the most obvious one in that one, and Lewis Page, you could say as well. So it worries me, Chris, that if he's not played in this game, which he didn't, are we going to see Leicester announcing a transfer of a departure out on loan to a Colchester United or someone like that, and it's Jake Evans? Because if he's not getting on the pitch when you're turning up with 20 minutes to go or 15 minutes to go, whatever it was, when he brought Ayew on, and you are putting on 34-year-old fossil man, then I'm worried that Jake Evans is all hype and no bark right now. He's not quite living up to that eager bark that he came with Monga. And maybe this is someone that goes
all hype and no bark. You're making your own sayings.
I'm sick of mixing analogies together. I'm making your own. It's the analogies about all hype and no bark. There you go.
I'm going to speed it along now because we've got another show coming up at 9. Steve, talk me through this.
For a couple of bounces, Aluko is the next just to hit it into that sunshine, when Mavididi now takes it down. He tries to flick it behind him to Page. He'll get a second go here, Steffi Mavididi, and he's found a nice ball for Daka, who goes for goal, and that is a fantastic strike into the far corner, and he gets his second goal of the campaign.
Man does his job. There you go.
And a fantastic strike too.
I mean, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, well, is this his level? Is this, what the level is in Austria if you haven't got Haaland next to you?
Well, if you wanted proof that God doesn't exist, that's your proof. He's praying because he scored against Cheltenham. Where's the praying for the previous games, mate? You know, I think it's the same with Hamza. He goes somewhere else and he actually might be a decent player. There's too much water under the bridge at Leicester City. And I just think that confidence-wise, he's shot. And, you know, to celebrate like that against Cheltenham, okay, fair enough, mate. You do you. You're on 60, 70 grand a week. Enjoy yourself, you know. Shut the door when you're on the way out, though, yeah?
Yeah, we never see that week in, week out, do we?
Yeah, sorry, I know you wanted me to talk through the actual goal itself, but all I was thinking was, oh yeah, he's just done his job that he gets paid to do. It's like me turning up for work and having someone recording me. You know, oh, there he is. He's doing his job. Don't record
Time management. They'd never find you doing your job, would they? Brad, you've got this one.
This one, there might just be an attack after. If Mavididi returns it to Louis Page, skip a few yards behind. Back wide it goes with Mavididi looking to turn around the outside of Tompkinson. He's done fantastically. He can go on into the penalty area. Still Mavididi going on and via the deflection.
Again, with that goal, I noticed there's a couple of players in the box when he chooses to shoot. I mean, as it happened, it was the right decision.
Yeah, because that was the first time in a while, in a long time, we've actually seen Mavididi drive into the box and not be on the edge of it or on the byline. We know against West Brom it led to a brilliant goal by Fatou, him not charging into the box and driving at West Brom, but it's something that's been lacking from his game. I will note in both goals we heard the name Louis Page mentioned in the build-up, so that tells you how, I'm just saying, pointing that out for those that want to take note on someone who's always involved in attacking threats. But the difference between Daka and Mavididi is they both just did the job. You know, it's his job, as Roy Keane would say. But we need to see more of that, Chris, as well. I know we're not going to get it with Daka. He's long past it. His sell-by date's run out. It's mouldy. But for me, Chris, we need to see more of it. Because, yes, the goal against West Brom came from dinking it in. But we've missed that from Mavididi driving at defenders and smashing it into the bottom corner.
Oh, totally. Right. Let's get on to points. And what do points make, everybody?
Prizes.
Thank you. One of you's awake.
He's checking the Jason Ball.
No. I knew it meant prizes. I just, so I knew Brad was going to get involved, so I thought I'll wait. Yeah.
You right.
Prizes. Sorry.
Sorry. He's on a delay. You're watching this via a stick, aren't you? 5-minute delay. Tell us. I mean, I thought it was okay. He would have scored more. He won. He basically did what he had to do. But I can only give him, I think, a 5 because, again, this was his opportunity to try something different. Half time, 2-0 up. We're pretty much in control of the game. I could never at any point see them scoring. Bekovic had he could have had a picnic in our goal. And he does no changes, and when he does make the changes, they're like for like. So I can only give him a 5, Steve.
Yeah, I'd agree. These sort of games are very difficult to give him a rating for anyway, because they're on against such a team that are of a lot less quality. The quality against the quality of the opposition isn't anywhere up to where the squad is against us. Effectively. So yes, he gets a point for winning the game, but for me, the most important things are the games coming up in the weekend and the games after that. So I don't judge him on this performance because it's.
But I'm asking you to. I'm asking part of the show.
Yeah, Steve, mate, this is how ratings work.
I gave him a 5 out of 10, but I just don't. He gets a 5. He gets a 5. There you go. He gets a 5. I'm going to keep it short and sweet now. I'm not going to do a Brad anymore. I'm going to do short and sweet.
Okay.
You fuck it up when you try and do it, mate.
Brad?
I'm going to do a Steve. He gets a 6. Minus 1 point for Jake Evans, but he gets a 6.
A 6. Brilliant.
It's like driving your sister and finding out it's your mum,
Over the performance then, and I got kind of lynched on this because at the end of the game in the post-match, when we were going through it with the guys, they were generally giving out 5s and 6s. I gave the team performance a 7 because And I know that somebody pointed out to me, these are players that do play with each other week in, week out. But it was nice.
Hell. That's why they're doing well on the pitch if they're playing with each other all the time.
No wonder.
I'm not going to go down this road. I'm moving on.
Grave was different, but come on. Seaman
Grave.
Grave.
You'd be having lighter balls, wouldn't you, if they're always playing with each other?
Let's move on quickly. Before I was going to say something, and I stopped it. And then Steve...
Well, you have to get the opportunity when you can, you know.
Well, that's a bird, you know.
What I'm saying is, we made ball jokes, and the viewers went up by 2.
I get the performance 7 because, look, I saw a team here that could pass the ball, and yes, I'm taking into the fact that we were playing a lower league team, but the performance itself, we were actually passing. It was almost like they knew what colour shirt they were playing in. We didn't concede. So I've given it a 7 for the performance, Steve.
I gave it a 6, mainly because the second half was so boring. Like, I could have fallen asleep. It was so boring.
Yeah, no, I agree, and that's why the second half, Zuefi Enters only got a 5 for me. Brad?
I'm agreeing with one of you, and I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this. Go and ask Crystal Palace fans how easy it is to play a lower league side with half the team out.
Yeah.
Not everybody does it. We were the most comfortable team in that round, barring tryhard Man City. I'm going to agree with Chris and give it a 7. I think it was solid. You couldn't ask more. Clean sheet. Haven't kept one in the league since 1973. So at least we kept one in the cup. You know what I mean? So take it.
Well, the official one from Alan, who was there, was 5. He was. Yeah, I know. Man of the match. Now, again, when I look at what all the guys did, they all went for the same player, except Wayne, who changed at the last minute to be different.
Did you go Mongo?
How did you guess? I actually went for Mavididi here because it was yet again. We only played League Two, blah blah blah. But to me, he was everywhere. He seemed to take control. He wanted to be in the game. He was, running that forward line for me, and I think he was worth it. So I've gone Mavididi, Steve.
So I would have gone Mavididi, but there was a moment in that second half where he did a step over and he kicked the ball against their player. It came back to him. He did another step over and he knocked it out of play. And I thought, well, that's it. You can't be a man of the match just for that. So I'm giving it to Oliver Skipp. I think he had a really good game. And he's Mr. Consistent now. He has been for the last sort of 4 or 5 games.
So everything I was saying about, last season, like how, give him a chance and he's got to have a run in the game. And I'm just saying. Brad?
See, on level of expectation, Mavididi is the obvious shout in terms of performance level. But in terms of quality and the level of their development and where they'd be at and where they'd probably be divisional-wise if we weren't keeping hold of them to be in our first team, my man of the match is Louis Page because he's been consistent for the last few games, whether he's come on or started. He's always showing energy in that middle of the park. Yeah, it didn't contribute too much in the goal area there, but at the start of every attack, Louis Page on the ball. Louis Page on the ball. For me, it's Louis Page, in case you didn't know.
I get that. I just want to bring this up because this is from FootMob, and they actually agree with me that it was Mavididi. And I'm just, I'll leave that up there just for people just to take it in and know how sort of good I am with my decision.
A broken clock is right twice a day, though, Chris. Let's be honest.
That is true. I'm not often correct that many times.
So big there, he's taken over Nelson.
You what, sorry?
Child's so big there, he's taken over Nelson. Look.
Well, yeah, what can you say? I mean, the thing was, Wayne was going to go Skip, and then he said, well, no, I want to be different, so I'll give it to Salarchik. Now, the one time when we played that badly that I picked a player that actually got the man of the match because he didn't come on, he went for somebody that wasn't even on the bloody bench. But then he actually turned it around and went for Begovic. Not sure on that one, Wayne.
Was Wayne high?
I think he was on something because Begovic He did all right, but he just had nothing to bloody do. The official one from Alan was Mr. Skip, and he did have a good game. And like I say, I'm not saying that I was the one that was saying, "Oh, give him a chance." But
You Skip friends.
that is true.
I look forward to next week, Chris, you being like, Skip's fucking shit. I can't stand him.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, hang on a sec.
That goal he gave away as Coventry made it 3-0.
Well,
2 goals. He's terrible. Well, Chris, you said give him a chance. This is on you.
Bring back some more.
He's allowed one game, and you've got to admit he has come good. Maybe the fact that he's come good coincides with Winks being fucked off out the team. Just saying,
Well, it's nice to know they're playing together and he's coming good. So,
Yes, yeah. Right, here we go. We're going to go through this quickly because, like I say, I've got another one coming up at 9. Steve Bekovic.
6, solid. Didn't have anything to do. Can't really give him any more than that.
Brad?
6, same.
Let's have a look what your best friend Jordan gave, shall we? He gave him
7.
7. An uncomfortable moment where he had to boot the ball out of play under pressure, but was strong with his gloves. That's another film and another day. Aluko, Steve.
7. Decent performance. Can't give him a half, so he gets a 7.
7. Brad?
Look good. Look more assured than Pereira. Got to give him a 7.
Guess what?
7.
6 from Jordan.
Oh, fuck off, Jordan. Get your Bosnian loving arse out of it.
Oh, I have to be different. My name's Jordan. Fuck
My
off.
name's Jordan. I look at the game through the stand. Fuck
Ben Nelson. Ben Nelson, Steve.
7, solid, decent passing. He does need to work on his passing a little bit at times, but he did okay. And we got a clean sheet, so 7.
Okay. Brad?
A regular mainstay and a solid 7 out of 10 most weeks, and again 7. Sorry, Steve, I'll have to agree with you for most of this.
7.
Well, you both agree with Jordan because he's.
I never agree with Jordan. He agrees with me.
Yeah, he agrees with us.
Vestergaard. Let me just bring him up. There we go. Vestergaard, sir.
6, some decent passing, but overall he went off injured, so he didn't play the full game. He gets a 6.
Yeah. Brad? 3?
I'm going to give him a 5 because he got injured and he gave away needless free kicks again. Like, could, with our defence, have led to something. Thankfully they didn't, but get a Cody back in the side. 5.
5. He gets he looked a little slow, but it only really cost him a few hurried clearances. He gets a 6 from Jordan, agreeing with Steve there. Oh God, Steve, here we go.
7. I think he was fairly decent.
What?
Well, it's one of his. I'll be honest. It's one of his better performances. He didn't look hurried. He didn't look flustered at any point. But it just shows that if you're against a League 2 winger, anyone can look good.
Sorry, I just obviously I hadn't taken me sniffered loo. Don't do that at home, children. Because I thought you said 7 there.
I did say 7.
Brad, I expect it from you, but I didn't expect a 7. Well, I'm going to clip that because he'll never give him a 7 again all season.
The worst Thomas on the pitch.
And there was 3.
Yeah, so to come third in a 3-horse race is pretty impressive. It's these Tottenham levels. To be honest with you, you say he was good, Steve.
No, don't be honest with me. Lie to me. Go on, lie to me.
Right, then. I'll lie to you and say it was a 10. But it was a 5 because he couldn't even get past League 2. He didn't. If you're not going to overlap and be a menace like Mavididi was against fucking League 2 opposition, then you're no good. We think we found Daka's level. Well, we still ain't found Luke Thomas's level this season. Maybe loan him to Macclesfield.
Okay, I raised your point though. There was a moment in the second half where he squared up to a player, and I thought, about fucking time we see something from you, mate. So that's why he gets a 7 because he was like,
he actually registered on your radar that he was playing with that pass.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
I
Well, he
think at
gets
the 88th minute, wasn't it, when he did that? And
Yeah, he got a yellow card for it.
got a bit out of hand, and I was so glad that Captain Chowdhury was on there to go in and break it up. Oh no, he didn't, did he? He went and joined in. That's what captains do. Luke Thomas got a 7 off Jordan. Are you ready for this? He got forward really well in support of Mavididi and clipped a few crosses into the right areas that deserved to be attacked. On the ball, he was fine, and defensively, he did his duties.
Fuck.
So, given an extension, that isn't a double entendre for anything. Or
Are you sure? You've had a lot of them tonight, Chris.
I wish I had. There we go. I was in Wetherspoon Saturday night. I went up to the barmaid and asked for a double entendre, and she gave me one. Thank you. Hamza Chowdhury. Shall we move on? Hamza Chowdhury. Steve.
6.
I thought you were having a poo then for a minute.
No, it's this point. It's not been able to give him a half, because I think a 6.5 would have been fair. I'm going to go on a basis that he's getting a 6, but in my head he's a 6.5. He was fine. He progressed the ball a little better than usually would. Overall,
you only want half so that you never agree with Jordan.
That might not be the reason.
It was my reason last season.
But he got about a bit. He linked up play quite well with Thomas and Aluko. I think a 6 is fine for him.
Bradley?
Who's Bradley? Who's Bradley?
Bradley Stephen.
Oh yeah, here we go. 6 was okay. It was decent. Didn't have a standout performance though.
He got a 7 off Jordan.
Arsenal.
Did especially well in positioning himself to receive a pass from teammates and pick up loose balls. Don't anybody say a word. Right. Following on to Mr. Skip, everybody's love child. Just
gets an 8 from me.
Season too late, really, because some of us are saying how good he was last season.
Who are they? Surely you weren't saying he was good last season, Chris.
Yeah, because if you were, you need to be checked into a mental.
Yeah, that'd be delusional. Were you high last season if you think he was good?
Yeah, but he was with Winks. What I was saying last season was not that he was good, but he would have given more time. Anyway, moving on.
Okay, fair enough. He gets an 8 from me. Is his best game for a while. I think he was controlling of the ball. He was some decent passes, and he linked up well with the defense and the attack. So an 8, and he almost scored, which would have been a great goal.
It would have been a screamer, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Brad.
I mean, he's definitely looked more accomplished in that midfield since he's not been paired with Harry Winks or Boubacar Tomorrow. So yes, 7.
No, I agree. It's funny how you drop one player and another one, steps up to the mark. So fair play to him. He got a 7 off Jordan as well. Page, quickly get in here, Steve, before 7. Before Brad has a orgasm over him.
He linked up well with the attack and defence. I think he was the one that was pivotal in quite a lot of starting the movements of the attacking third. And I want to see more of him. Don't think I'd ever say that about a 17-year-old kid, but let's see more of him.
What have you been snorting today, Steve?
I'm so tired right now. I did not sleep well. I had a long run yesterday. I've worked hard today. I am fucking knackered.
Brad,
I'm going to give him an 8. I think in the context of the game, this is it's an 8. That's it. Move on.
Yeah. He got a 7 off Jordan, but I agree, Steve. We do need to see more of these players. If we're giving them a chance, then don't give them a chance and then drop them for 5 weeks. Give them a chance, and if they do well, although say Coventry obviously going to be another case.
No, I say start him against Coventry.
Silko Thomas.
6. He was Yeah, I don't know. Silko, he tries and he tries and he tries, but there's not really a lot of end product with him. And at his age now, where he's 21, I can't see if he's going to be at the championship level going forward.
You think he's one that may maybe moved on? Do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know when his contract expires, in all honesty, but I just think that if we're going to bring players in, if we lose Abdul this month or next month, we're going to bring another winger, and he's not going to get the game time anyway. So, he gets a 6, but it was a basic performance.
Yeah, Brad.
I'm going to give him a 6, but I disagree with Steve. I think if we keep giving him game time, he'll slowly improve, and he's going to get better.
You disagree with Steve, but you'll give him the same mark. But I'll tell you what. It's a full house again. It's a full house. 6s all round. Coming up next, we've got Mr. Dakar.
He got his goal, which I guess gives him a 6 again. He was. Oh, if you take away the goal, he didn't do anything. Let's be honest, but it was a decent finish. I'm just sick of seeing him now. I'm sick of Patson Daka and Jordan Ayew.
Brad?
Just copy and paste what Steve said, because if it wasn't for the goal, it'd be a 4, but it's a 6.
And again, 3, 6. Oh, it's like the devil's come in, hasn't it?
Oh, it's scary.
Chris, can you stop asking if things are coming in or releasing or, Jesus.
No,
man,
it's you. It's you. You have turned into me, but a lot worse. I've rubbed off. No, I can't say that.
No.
Don't talk about rubbing off or balls, for fuck's sake.
No. I've got him as well tomorrow night. Bloody hell. Mavididi.
He gets an 8 as well. I think, goal and assist. He was pretty attacking. It's what we want to see more of. But mate, please stop doing the needless step overs every single time you get the ball. It's so annoying. You slow down so much. You've got speed. Use it.
It wasn't this game. I think it was the West Brom game where he actually broke with the ball. He had a defender, and there was a couple of Leicester players up there. Had he actually passed the ball, we may have scored a goal. But he actually took a few minutes going over the ball one way, then the next, then that. Another defender came back, and he had 2 on him.
Mm.
Brad.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Chris. But I've got to give the same rating. Sod the fact that it was Cheltenham. He did have a really good game. It's got to be an 8.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Again, a full house. 3 8s. 8-8-8. Okay, that's the starting lineup. The substitutes. Akoli.
6, same as Vestergaard, really. He looked a little bit shaky on the ball a couple of times, but he's done that in every game he's played.
Akoli. Brad. Easy to get them two mixed up,
I know.
Brad, you've changed, haven't you? You
want to know he's never on fucking camera, is he?
I am a Coley. This is a 9. No, I'm going to give him a 6 as well, because I like what he did when he comes on, but he probably wouldn't have paid. Well, he wouldn't have come on at all had Vestergaard not got injured. So
you can't say about women's football, isn't it? Think about it. Don't know if Steve's got it or not. He's not. Boom.
I just turned my printer on. That was what I was doing as you were as you said the joke. So
no, he got 5 from Jordan. Mr. Monga.
4. He didn't bring anything when he came on. Really, he had little touches, little impact. I think there was one moment he ran into the box with the ball and then laid it off to Steffi, and that was about it.
Yeah. Not threatening, says Jordan. Brad, would you agree?
I didn't even know he came on to a point, so I'm going to give him a 3.
3. Well, he got a 5 from Jordan. He had 1 fine dribble through tight gaps. He's got to stop looking at Fatru and Mavididi who are doing the step overs because that's all at the moment. That's all he is. He's a step over artist, and it's not the player that we had at the start of the season. Is that down to the coaching? Could well be. Ayu.
4, brought nothing to the team. You know, and it, like copy and paste what I said about Pasandaka. I am sick of seeing Jordan Ayew in this football team. As soon as the summer comes and he's gone, I will be a happy man.
Me too, I've got to say. Brad, you too?
No, zero impact, zero knowledge that he was on the pitch, zero.
Oh, got out of bed the wrong side this morning. He got a 5 from Jordan.
For what?
But it said here he couldn't.
Wanking him up in the stands before the game. That's why.
Yeah. Oh, he put his shorts on the right way. Give him a 5.
He couldn't quite capitalise on an error from Day, forced by his pressing, and he didn't threaten besides that. There you go.
And that's worth a 5. Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
5. Marshall, I mean, he didn't come on to about the 88th minute. He gets an NA from Jordan.
Yeah, I think he only touched the ball once.
Yeah.
So,
Can't be cruel to him like that. Like, you know, he didn't come on and he came on and couldn't do anything. NA.
Very quickly, Steve, because you were talking about selling Silko Thomas earlier and what have you. Is this a guy that you would like to see more of? Or again, and the lights have gone out.
Sorry, I'm just Googling his age. I think he's 22 now. Is that right?
He's 23.
23. No. Yeah, no, he's 23 years old. He's not made it as of yet. He didn't do well on loan last season. At this point, take any money you can get for him. I just don't think he's going to make the grade either.
No, you're right. I think you were right as well. Or if you had, you would have done it by now.
Yeah.
You know. Can I say, join us at 9:00 tonight. You've got Dick and Harry below me. Tom's coming in at 9 with me. We'll be reviewing the FA Cup third round, the shocks and the upsets. And we're not going to be talking through every single game because we'll be here till midnight. We'll also be looking at the fourth round as well. That's at 9:00 tonight.
Are you still waiting for the draw though, Chris?
Well, look, I put on... Look, when it said, I'm going to say this. When it said on the thing I was reading, the draw will take place sometime after 6:30. Now you know what these things are like. You're normally waiting, and it's about 7:30 when they finally start. With the Cowboys. So the fact that I went on 7, that I'll click on the thing and see because they're probably still talking about it. No, the TNT, unlike the Caribou or whatever they were doing with theirs, had finished and done and dusted.
I'll be honest, there isn't that many interesting ties in this next round anyway.
No, it's a bit of a disappointment, weren't it?
Yeah,
Really?
the only one like Man City versus Salford would be pretty good, but other than that, I would have liked us to have drawn like Grimsby or Macclesfield or someone like that. That rather than Southampton where we got battered the last time we went. And I will not be going. We're not driving down to Southampton again this season. They can fuck off.
I'll have your ticket then because it's only just down the road for me. So, any port here, any port. Guys, thank you very much. Appreciate you coming in. Everybody that's been in the chat, thank you very much as well. Sorry I couldn't put the chat up. I do not know what is happening. But, look, I'll see you tomorrow, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
And I will see you possibly on Thursday, Brad.
Yes. I shall let you know about that.
Yes, I hope so, because you've got 2 shows.
Yes, I will. I'll let you know.
Please don't do that to me. Thank you if you're listening via your favourite podcast platform. Thank you very much indeed. Take care, everybody, and we will see you soon. Good night.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You'd better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network.
TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.